Now at 10, shining a light on the dark world of cockfighting and why little is being done to stop it. A defiant Bill Cosby vows to clear his name after being convicted of sexual assault. Amazon Prime members get ready for a stiff price hike. And he made headlines around the world for being accepted into 20 colleges. Now he's in our studios, ready to announce his pick.
But up first tonight, breaking news. You are watching right now a end of a police chase that happened. A suspect allegedly rammed into an HPD officer's car earlier this evening. This started off on the northeast side and ended around Hammerley Road. It's a breaking news situation we continue to follow at this hour.
Yeah, we are told that the suspect tried to ram a patrol car at Hammerley Road and Brittmore. That's where it all ended. Deputies say the driver backed up on the patrol car. The deputy opened fire. No one was hurt, and the suspect, we are told, now is in custody.
And now hundreds of gang members are off the streets thanks to a 3-month operation by U.S. Marshals and Houston Police.
A special task force rounded up 341 people along with 62 guns and more than $1 million in drugs. That includes 3 men wanted for murder.
Grace White takes us inside the operation to find out what's being done to keep you safe.
As evening falls on the streets of Houston,
they just put it out 2 days ago. I guess he didn't go to court.
U.S. Marshals and Houston Police suit up, packing their bags, not knowing what kind of situation they'll face. It's a special 3-month mission called Operation Triple Beam. The target? Gang members. We don't go far before meeting a man who never expected to become a victim.
This area is like too much rough. When I go out, most of the time I got scared.
Karamuddin Kokar says a man robbed him at gunpoint.
I just parked my car in my parking lot and some of the dude came and put gun on me.
He says an effort like this to clean up the streets,
he's been warned not to come back here,
is what he's been waiting for.
They start as young as 13, 14.
Miguel Dominguez is the deputy U.S. Marshal heading up the operation, focusing on southwest Houston and what's called District 17. It follows the 59 corridor from 610 to Beltway 8, and in it, one of the highest populations of documented gang members in the city.
You recognize a lot of these guys?
Yes, ma'am. They've been out here ever since I was out here. I mean, it's like they go to jail, come right back out, and they're right back in the game.
I'm checking out the store. I'm coming from the store side.
Back out on the street, officers say this strip center is a known gang hangout, and that's where the task force finds one of their targets, a 23-year-old.
What was going on here today?
Nothing. She was on the block. Cholo dude, you know what I'm saying?
He's charged with a violent crime that happened in the same parking lot where he was arrested.
Well, I go to school. I promise I'm going to graduate this Friday.
Police say Michael Tejeda jumped a family outside a restaurant on Glenmont and stole $300.
A lot of them are robberies, whether it's robbing other dope dealers or robbing innocent civilians, you know? If they want something, they're gonna try and get it.
Houston is up there. We have a significant gang problem here.
And when federal agencies like the U.S. Marshals step in, they bring what local agencies need: resources.
We bring money and equipment. They provide the majority of the manpower, and the whole goal is to protect the citizens of Houston.
Letting gang members know they mean business.
Business owners, it's like they're used to it.
And victims know they're not alone.
So please keep doing whatever you're doing. We appreciate that.
All right, y'all, we're in the area. Come up to, come up to right now.
Gang crime is a problem in Houston, but where is it happening? KHOU 11 Investigates went through police records and mapped it all out. Since 2012 through March of this year, the 3 worst neighborhoods were Gulfton and Westwood, both on the southwest side of town, and Sunnyside. Want to know what's going on in your neighborhood? Go to KHOU.com and look up any area to see the gang crimes being reported. Lynn and Mia, back to you.
From America's dad to convicted rapist, Bill Cosby is not planning to go down without a fight after being convicted today in his sexual assault trial. Cosby appeared defiant as he walked out of the courthouse, raising his fist in the air a few times as he was heckled by people in the crowd. He was convicted on all 3 counts of drugging and assaulting Andrea Constand back in 2004, but his attorney is vowing to appeal.
We don't think Mr. Cosby is guilty of anything, and the fight is not over. Thank you.
Are you going to appeal, sir?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, very strongly.
After the verdict, Cosby reportedly shouted expletives at the district attorney, who questioned whether Cosby would be a flight risk until sentencing. The DA says that was Cosby showing his true colors.
He used his celebrity, he used his wealth, he used his network of supporters to help him conceal his crimes. And now we really know today who was behind that act, who the real Bill Cosby was.
Cosby faces up to 10 years for each of the 3 charges. He'll stay free on bond until sentencing, which will happen sometime in the next 90 days.
And tonight we take you inside the illegal world of cockfighting.
The blood sport is so cruel and inhumane, Texas passed tougher laws against it.
But investigative reporter Jeremy Rogowski discovered little is being done to enforce them. Jeremy?
Len and Mia, we must warn you, the images are graphic. Roosters fitted with razor-sharp blades fight to their bloody death, while onworkers wage money on the kill. But despite all that, in Harris County, we found very few crackdowns on this gory crime. It is a spectacle of suffering. Roosters shot up with steroids and armed to kill, surrounded by ringside gawkers and gamblers looking to make quick cash on their lives.
They call cockfighting a blood sport for a reason. It is gory. Oftentimes, the weapons that they fasten to the rooster's legs will slash open another bird.
It's why it's now a crime in Texas to simply possess those slashing blades or just show up to a fight or even raise these birds for battle. The Humane Society of the United States helped to pass those tougher laws.
There is no need for a civilized society to put 2 animals in a ring and wage money on who dies first.
But KHOU 11 Investigates discovered that since the new laws were passed 7 years ago, police have only busted 8 cockfighting rings in Harris County. Why so few arrests?
Because this is an underground sport.
Sergeant Jason Alderete runs the Houston Police Animal Cruelty Squad.
It's usually done in a rural environment or a location that's difficult for police officers to see from the street.
Hola. But it wasn't difficult at all for our undercover cameras to see the signs of cockfighting. All we had to do was go online, where multiple Facebook groups, YouTube posts, and Craigslist ads are all selling birds.
¿Cuánto tiene de venta ahorita?
So we set up a meeting. And once we got there, it didn't take long.
They're gonna fight him.
To learn what was going on.
His name is Calibre 50. That's why
50 caliber is this bird's name.
He's killed about 4 roosters. Oh wow. He already retired him because he hurt a leg. He just has them now for babies.
Those babies and rows of other young roosters, all for sale.
They're selling the rest of these for 200. These are going for about 5 to 6.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're mean.
An apparent cockfighting breeding ground, not exactly underground. But when we asked police, do you do any undercover proactive work?
We only have 3 officers to do that with. We're not able to do that at this time, unless we get more people.
This is what an officer looks at.
Manpower also is an issue at BARC, the city's Animal Control Bureau. It received more than 3,500 complaints about chickens over the past 5 years, but was unable to respond to 75% of them. You're not getting to 3/4 of these calls.
Yeah, but again, Jeremy, you have to understand that 3/4 of those calls aren't all cockfighting calls.
You don't know that. You've never made the scene.
Well, that is true. That is true.
What's more, records show cockfighting complaints are often labeled as priority 4, the second lowest on a scale of 1 to 5. What's the reality? Jared Mears is a division manager for animal enforcement. Are these cockfighting calls misprioritized?
Some of them could be. Yes, you're right. Some of them could be.
Mears says his agency does forward callers to the Houston Police Department, the non-emergency line.
From there, they go to a patrol officer who will respond to the calls accordingly. On a busy night, which is when these fights are usually occurring, it might take a while to respond to that call.
And police say when they do get there,
This is inside the ring.
this is often the case.
There's going to be people running everywhere. The actors are gone. Only thing left is chickens and beer bottles.
Is it a catch me if you can?
Absolutely, it's a catch me if you can.
Does that frustrate you?
It's very frustrating. I wish we had more resources.
And consider this, records show for the handfuls of arrests in Harris County over the past 7 years, none resulted in felony convictions. And the longest sentence, just 120 days in jail, Len and Mia.
That seems like a small price to pay, like the cost of doing business for these guys.
Certainly so, yeah.
And the other thing is, BARC seems to assess a very low priority to complaints.
That stood out to us, but after our interview, Len and Mia, the city is changing its way it does business by bumping those cockfighting complaints from a 4 now to a priority 2. That's higher on the pecking order, which hopefully means more likely that those calls will get investigated.
Good work. Thanks for shedding a light on it.
You bet.
And you can also report cockfighting crimes to the Harris County Animal Cruelty Task Force by calling 832-927-PAWS or online at 927paws.org.
Tomorrow, former President George H.W. Bush could be released from the hospital. Mr. Bush has been at Houston Methodist Hospital since Sunday and is being treated for an infection that spread into his blood. During a speech last night, his son Jeb Bush announced the plan is for his dad to be released tomorrow. We'll let you know if that does, in fact, happen.